Okay, here's our field day 2017 setup. Normally we'd be in a bus in a parking lot or up on the side of a hill somewhere. But this year, due to an injury, we're working from my home, running from deep cycle batteries. There's two of our stations. There's Jesse's station and Clint's station. And we swing around, of course, and there's our duplexers for our antenna. We swing around, and of course, I get the comfy station with all the nice reclining bed stuff going. And there's my station right there. Lots of Elecraft gear, of course, and we have more Elecraft gear, and what, a Linko and Yesus. Yesu, not Jesus, Yesu. So we're operating as a 3 Echo station this year, running from batteries and charging one of those batteries through a pair of solar panels. That's one of the antennas we're using. That's a multi-element vertical. I'm running that one myself on 40 meters single sideband. We ran until about midnight last night, and I stopped because my battery was going low and was no longer obviously charging from the solar panels I had it plugged into. And then swing across over here. This is our bus. We would normally drive out to the field, a parking lot, so that we could have onlookers drop by and ask questions or whatnot. Or occasionally on the side of a hill somewhere east of town or northeast of town, depending on where we decide to go that year. And on top of that, we've got a 20 meter beam, 3 element. Nice antenna. I think Jesse had been working on that most of the night last night, switching between CW and single sideband. That's a really nice beam. It's a little frightening to put up because it's a huge beam, and Jess and Clint had to put it up. That tower is up about 33 feet, if I'm not mistaken. And of course, that's our bus we would normally be riding in. We've got workstations in there, room for 3 workstations actually. Workstations. It's quite comfortable for 3 people. We have on occasion done more, but it's pretty cramped if you do more than 3 people. We have a couple of built-in bunks, and I tend to sleep in my wheelchair with the seat tilted all the way back, which surprisingly is quite comfortable, and I've managed to get a decent night's sleep that way. I'm a little stiff the next day when I do get out of the chair, but overall it tends to work pretty well. The bus is wheelchair accessible. I have in fact driven this bus. We've got ourselves a large door on the side with a commercial wheelchair lift behind it. We ran our rotator cable and whatnot across the yard here. I'm not going to run over that because I don't want to get tangled up in it. So I'm going to stop the video, go around the other side of the bus, and show off where our solar panels are. Alrighty, so here's our solar panels. They're in the shade at the very moment. The shade here is not going to last. I hope I'm actually pointing at them. I can't really tell. There's so much glare outside that all I can see in my viewfinder is my face. But I've got a pair of those there, wired parallel. We went up through the opening that we use for the air conditioner. We got coax going in there, power for the solar panels to charge the battery that my radio is hooked up to, and the rotor controller. There's another antenna cable, so we have 2 antenna cables coming in there. One of these antennas is right there, and there's so much sunshine coming off there, I doubt that you can actually see that, and I can't see it. I have a low takeoff angle vertical going across the back of the backyard there. That's good for 40 meters and 80 meters. The sun's coming up a little bit more. Those panels will be in full sunshine for pretty much of the day, and they work pretty well for charging, you know, say a Route 22 deep cycle battery. Okay, let's see if this is actually on. And we are recording. Okay, great. Like I said, there's a lot of glare. There's our antenna is set up on the back of our bus. See, it's attached to a rail that's bolted to the back of the bus, and come up to where it goes to a rack on top of the bus. That's a pivot point, and we can actually retract the tower, disconnect a retaining bar down here at the bottom of the tower from the rack on the back of the bus, and swing the tower down so that it lays on top of the roof along the rack that's in front of the tower there. And then we have tie downs, metal tie downs that hold everything in place, keep it from moving, and a set of chains to keep the tower from expanding if we do a sudden stop in the bus, and causing it to stick out in front of the bus and hurt somebody. Whoa. I don't want that going down there like that. There we go. We have a ladder, of course, on the back of the bus to make it easier for Clint and Jess to climb up there and work with the tower. And also on the other side of the bus at the top are a pair of cargo carriers that have locking lids on them that we carry supplies in. As far as the bus goes, that is a 1984 Bluebird Minibird. Quite roomy, actually. It's very wide. It's on a good 2.5 ton truck chassis, GMC, I believe. It's got there's a giant hole in my yard. It's got a Chevy 350 size engine in it, gasoline, not diesel. There's the pods I was talking about on top of the roof there, and the white tubular pod there is storage for one of our antennas. It breaks down and fits in there, and we latch that shut. I couldn't tell you how many miles the bus has on it. We didn't pay a lot of money for it, though. We've had it in excess of, well, it's been, well over 10 years. Probably bought that in 2002, 2003, give or take. And we use it, 2, 3, sometimes 4 times a year.